In this video, we're having a look at the different reasons that would induce a slide into a vehicle, causing it to land up on the wrong side of the road. Each of the successive clips has a look at a different reason, and the point of the video is to help us to be more aware of the unexpected events that could suddenly arise, posing a danger to us on the roads. In the animation, we'll see that the driver of the red vehicle is traveling at an excessive speed in order to negotiate the bend. The car is induced into a slide, lands up on the wrong side of the road, and a collision with an oncoming vehicle. This first real-life clip just has a look at a slippery surface. In this case, there's snow, ice on the road, and because of that, conditions are a lot more slippery, and so we've got to be more cautious if we're traveling in conditions like this, that a vehicle could land up sliding and then on our side of the road. And that's what's depicted in this real life clip. The next real life clip, we see a vehicle being induced into a slide for a different reason, and that's in trying to avoid an object. This vehicle crosses over the road into the path of the oncoming vehicle, and so this driver tries to avoid this vehicle, and because of that swerves. Car lands up sliding and then on the wrong side of the road. The next clip is just a different camera angle of what we saw in the previous clip, so it's exactly the same scene, but just taken from a roadside camera. In this clip, although it's not that clear, a little bit blurry, but what happens is that you've got a lane or a line of vehicles. In the lane here, we have a vehicle at the back wanting to overtake, but as he pulls out, he notices there's an oncoming vehicle, and so tries to move back into his lane, but turns too sharply into his lane, and that induces a bit of a slide into the vehicle. The driver tries to overcorrect, and in overcorrecting, now then lands up on the wrong side of the road. This highlights a different reason why a vehicle might land up on the wrong side of the road. Let's have a look at it. And here we have an ice bank on the side. We see this vehicle is moving over a little bit to his left, and so blocking off the camera. So the camera tries to avoid him by moving also a little bit further over to the left. But what happens in a case like this is that because of the snowbank, the tires or the wheels on the left side of the vehicle meet with this ice or the snow. It induces more friction or resistance to the vehicle, and because there's more resistance on the left side of the vehicle's now pulled off to the left and then lands up on the wrong side of the road. If we just advance it slightly, notice that this has happened to a previous vehicle. You can see the tracks of the previous vehicle angled across towards the opposite side of the road, and so that's what happens with this camera. So we've just got to be cautious where we've got different road surfaces, which provides different traction to the vehicle on the one side as opposed to the opposite side, and that would cause a vehicle to be swerved to the side that's got the most traction. And we saw that in the snowbank in the previous clip, but in this particular clip, exactly the same thing. This car moves over onto the shoulder of the road. There's more traction on the road surface than what there is on the shoulder, and because of that, the vehicle's now pulled to their left and causes the vehicle to cross over onto the wrong side of the road. I have another web page that deals with shoulders specifically, and there it goes into a lot more detail as to the dangers of a shoulder. I'll put the link to that page in the description section of this video below. in this particular clip, we've got the driver of this vehicle that, due to harsh braking, now his back tires lock up, and as soon as the tires lock up, you've got less traction on the road. And if it's the rear tires that lock up, because the weight is transferred to the front of the vehicle, now the back becomes lighter and tends to kick out a lot easier. Because of that, losing traction, the back kicking out, if it kicks out in the wrong direction, then the vehicle's forced onto the opposite side of the road. That's exactly what happens here. Just as one would lose traction by excessive braking, the converse is true as well. So excessive acceleration for the road surface would also cause the wheels to lose traction. So if it's the driving wheels, the wheels are at the back, then those back wheels are going to start spinning, lose traction, and the car will start sliding. That's what's shown in this particular real life clip. This driver crossing over an icy road or snowy road accelerates too much, and so the vehicle slides, the back kicks out, and the vehicle ends up on the wrong side of the road as well. I've included this clip because it's double trouble. You'll see that an oncoming vehicle starts sliding, lands up on the wrong side of the road, connects with this vehicle, and actually knocks it off course, and so that this vehicle also then lands up on the wrong side of the road. So there are two vehicles landing up on the wrong side of the road, going in either direction. This real life clip is just highlighting the dangers of trucks because of the articulated trailer that a truck carries under icy or snowy conditions like this, where the road conditions are a lot slipperier. When a truck puts on brakes, because of the momentum or the force of the trailer pushing on the cab, it can easily jackknife and then land up on the wrong side of the road. This last clip is showing a vehicle coming down the left side, and he's traveling too fast, tries to avoid the driver in front of him, tries to squeeze between the gap of the driver that's stationary and the camera, but has to take too sharp an angle in order to now shoot into that gap. And because of that sharp angle, car starts sliding, the driver overcorrects and then lands up on the wrong side of the road. Now I'll have a web page further on in the course that actually deals with sliding, correcting, and overcorrecting, and how to try and avoid overcorrection, because you'll see as you go through these real life clips, very often where a driver goes wrong is not in the initial slide, but in the overcorrecting, and that poses more of a danger. That's what's happened with this particular driver, and it's a natural reaction for us to, when the car starts sliding, is to try and correct, but overcorrect, because we're not used to what's happening to us. We try and rectify the situation by turning the steering too radically, and that induces a slide in the opposite direction, which is even worse than the initial slide. Sorry, that wasn't the last clip. Here we have the last clip that we're going to have a look at. Now notice the truck ahead starts sliding. See if you can work out why it is that the truck started to slide. We'll watch the clip first of all, and then we'll comment on it. Just going to go back. So what caused the truck to start sliding? Was the driver turning his wheels in any way that would cause the truck to start sliding? No. In fact, if you replay it, as we'll do, you'll see that the driver doesn't do anything. He's continuing straight. His wheels are straight, and yet he starts sliding. So what would be the reason for that? Now, I've covered this particular point in a previous video as well, but where we've got icy conditions on the road, and the road now leads over a bridge which is elevated somewhat higher than the surrounding countryside, then what happens is that you have higher winds that pass over the bridge. And where the winds now pass over the bridge, what happens is it brings down the temperature of any liquid that would be on the bridge. If it's water, it could turn it into ice. If it's ice, then it could turn it into black ice. Now, black ice results in extremely slippery conditions, and that's more than likely what's happened over here. This patch has turned into black ice, and because of that, black ice isn't visible. It's not as though you can see a black patch on the road. It's called black ice, not because of the color, but because of its properties, making it extremely slippery. So it's not visible, but because of its slipperiness, now it has a drastic effect on any vehicles passing over it. And that's exactly what's happened here to this driver, unfortunately. Please like, subscribe, and get notified.